Hello there, I am Aakash Bhatta. So today I will be presenting about my project management internship at SDLG. So, um, so the content will be introduction of me and my company and the four learning outcomes of project management internships, discussion, and conclusion and reflection of project management internship. So about me, I'm a civil engineering graduate, currently studying Masters of Construction Management at CQU, and I am doing my project management internship at SDLG. So about my host organization, SDLG. So it is a multidisciplinary engineering consultancy specializing in residential building. So we did like 4 or 5 residential building already. So now we're doing a residential building at Hamilton Road. So we are at the we already finished footing, foundation, excavation, footing, slabs, and we're doing the framing now. Okay. So learning outcome one. So apply, appraise, and appraise, acquire discipline, knowledge, and skill in context of real life work environment. So so this internship was all about actually learning from work-life environment and um, applying of our knowledge, learn knowledge, academic knowledge in the work-life environment. So use not construction knowledge to estimate tiles and concrete quantity and allowing for wastage. So what I did there is my supervisor assigned me with the task of calculating the amount of tile required for the bathrooms. So I went there and actually measured the walls and deduced the doors and windows and got the quantities in meters squared. So then later I got to learn that I had to allow for 10% wastage. And also, I also learned that I also needed to know how much does the one box of tile cover, how many meters square does it cover? So I can order this many boxes. Like I can't just order 100 meter squares of tiles. I need to tell the suppliers I need 20 boxes of tiles or 25 boxes of tiles. So this is the uh, in-depth learning of insight learning, or what I learned inside, and the difference is what I learned inside and what I academically learned. I also applied understanding of structural and architectural drawing to guide excavation and rebar placement. So I had to read the drawing. So I read the structural plan so I could guide the excavator how much depth we want. And I also used the instrument called rotary laser level to check the level and to give the excavator the level I want and a level of the footing and slab I want. So that's what I did. And also coordinated site workflow using MS Project and Excel, and smoothing the task sequencing. So I also used Excel for estimating of concrete quantity and the tile quantity, and all for the estimation purposes, we generally use the um, Excel. So ensured compliance with PCA inspection stages through interpretation and building specification and codes. So this we will be discussing about in the ethical issues part, which is learning outcome two. So learning outcome two, discuss discipline and relevant legal and ethical issues in performing work duties. So compliance with building codes and regulation ensured all works adhere to CDC, which is Compliance Development Certificate, PCA, which is um, compliance inspecting authority, and relevant standards and reflecting legal compliances. So we had to get PCA and CDC before starting any construction works, any demolition or construction works. We had to get compliance development certificate, and we had to even for stormwater easement and for plumbing works, we needed before excavating, and there's a thing called dial before you dig. So we check if there's any services line running underneath our building. So before excavation, we need to make sure of that. And for for the stormwater plan for plumbing works, we need the PCA approval. And even while pouring concrete, before pouring concrete, while laying the rebars, and to check whether the laid rebars is in order with the structural drawing or not. We try and make sure of that, but we have the PCA, the engineer comes and check whether the laid rebar is correct for the slab or not, and they provide us with feedback and comments. So we try and rectify that as soon as we can to get our site approved for the concreting or the next step. That's what we do. So these are some of the ethical and legal issues. So workplace safety laws. So we have construction induction on site. So that gives us knowledge of safety and PPE like gloves, masks, or ear muffs while doing noisy, loud work, because it's very common with doing drilling works, drilling and cutting. So the person doing the drilling and cutting has to wear gloves, mask, and the other safety equipment. And the site has to be there needs to have temporary fencing for the site and sediment control cloth put around it. And if there's any hazardous area, we need to cover it up with the caution or danger tape. So these are some of the workplace safety laws. And for documentation and transparency, so I documented every work with the photos and daily field site reports, which we call site diary. So in order to ensure transparency, supporting ethical best practices. So prompt reporting of the issues. So it's very common for the issues to occur at the sites. So there was one of the issues. What happened was while excavating, we accidentally hit the pipes. So the pipe was broken. We immediately called the plumber and fixed the issue so that we can continue on with the next step. Learning outcome 3. So displayed enhance interpersonal and critical thinking skill in real work life environment. So it's basically about communication. So we had to communicate with lots of different types of stakeholder, like tradies, subcontractors, like tilers or painters or gyprockers. So we had to talk with all of them, and I also had to talk with my project manager, site engineer, site manager, everyone, and to make sure everyone's on the same page. So effective communication was definitely a part of it, and this also helped me enhance my communication skills. So what I did here is regularly updated supervisor and team members on the progress issues and requirement, fostering clear and open communication. So problem solving, quickly addressed on-site challenges like broken pipe or incomplete work, or sometimes when Tyler does the work, some of the tiles don't line up with the skirting. So these are the common mistakes. And also when the painter wants to start his work and the gyprocker hasn't finished, so we cannot let the painter come and waste their time. So we have to for the smooth flow of work, that's called we need to manage and let the painter know on correct time when they can start the work. And critical analysis, double check the quality of delivered materials and site readiness before trade commence the work, ensuring high standards and minimizing errors. So these are the quality control works. And sometimes the items delivered on site are not, sometimes the PC items like bathroom items, they can be broken. And if we don't tell them in a day, before a day, and if we keep the items, the broken items, if we don't tell them, that's they're not going to return it. So we need to check the quality and make sure they are delivered in intact quality. Critically reflect on personal and professional academic learnings that has occurred during this experience. So my strengths were I developed practical skills in site management, estimation and communication, improved confidence in reading and interpreting construction documents. So while as in the start, I didn't even know what CDC was, what OC was. So OC is basically occupancy certificate, which we need to get after finishing all the works, and so that it's a certificate that residents can stay there. And I didn't know when can we start work? If you want to finish the work early, we can't just start at 5 a.m. So we had to start at 7 a.m. because we can't disturb the other residents. So these are the things I came to know when I started working here, and the uh, other construction terminologies and construction tools. I familiarized myself after working here, because we also need to, as a project managers, we need to know what the subcontractors like tilers, gyprockers, waterproofers, roofers, what they do. We need to know basics so we can, so we know when to call them. And yeah. Professional growth, gain first-hand experience in balance and safety, workflow efficiency, and learning, reinforcing academic concept with real-world application, academic integration, recognize the value of theoretical knowledge, building codes, estimation techniques when applied to actual construction projects, deepening understanding and retention. Conclusion and reflection. My internship at STLG allowed me to effectively apply classroom knowledge to real construction projects, enhancing both my technical and interpersonal skills. And one of my personal experience I'd like to share is, so while estimating the quantity of self-leveling compound, we had a miscommunication and we ordered the double the amount of what was required. So we had $6,000 worth of extra self-leveling compound. So we needed the depth of 20 millimeters, but we did a 40 millimeter depth. So we overestimate the quantity, and we had $6,000 worth of extra self-leveling compound, and we were not able to return it because they have no return policy. So but since we were like a regular customer, and our project manager had a conversation with the suppliers, and because of our good relationships, they just let this slide at once, and we were able to return. 'Cause, otherwise, there was a lot of wastage of money, wastage of resources in delivering the material, and that would be a huge mistake. So these are the risks we need to manage. So need the proper communication is that this is when I learned the proper communication is very necessary to do our task. So thank you for listening to me. I'm gonna stop the recording now. So thank you so much.